I walked into my grandmother's memorial reception and stopped cold. There, on the easel by the guest book, was the family portrait. The one we took last Christmas, except something was wrong. I wasn't in it. Not blurred, not cut off at the edge. Digitally removed. Erased. Like I'd never been there at all. My mother was smiling in the photo. My brother had his arm around his kids. And where I'd been standing? Just wall. Smooth beige wall. I pulled out my phone and opened my camera roll. There I was in the original. Right between Mom and my brother, smiling, present. Someone had photoshopped me out. 3 hours later at Mom's house, I found out why. "We need to talk about the trust," my mother said. "You're going to sign the waiver." My brother slid a paper across the table. "Grandma left you half. But you don't need it, I do. So you're going to disclaim your share." Today. How do you crop someone out of a family and then ask them to smile and walk away from $1.3 million? Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? What time is it there? Hit that like button, because you're going to want to see how this ends. But let me back up, because this didn't start at a funeral. It started 30 years earlier. I was always the invisible kid. My brother was 3 years older. Captain of the lacrosse team. Honors student. Mom's golden child. His high school graduation. 200 guests. Catered tent in the backyard. A car as a gift. Mine, 12 people. Grocery store sheet cake. A card with $50 inside. I learned early that I didn't take up space in this family. I existed around the edges. But my grandma saw me. She was the one who showed up to my college play when I had 3 lines. The one who sent cards on my half-birthday. The one who paid my state school tuition quietly, in installments, so my mother wouldn't make a scene about fairness. "You're the one who'll understand what money really means," Grandma told me once. Not status, freedom. I kept every card she sent. Every letter. Every email. That's just who I am. I save everything. I moved across the country after college. Built a quiet career in data systems. Saw my family twice a year. My brother stayed local. Bought a big house. Had kids. Played the part. When Grandma got sick 2 years ago, I flew back every month. Took her to appointments. Sat with her during chemo. My brother? He visited twice. She passed 3 weeks ago. I knew there was a will. I assumed my brother would get most of it. I assumed I'd get some small token and a guilt trip about being selfish if I didn't just hand it over. I had no idea how right I was. And I had no idea I'd saved exactly the right receipts. The will reading was scheduled for a week after the funeral. I thought it would be awkward. I didn't know it would be war. 3 days after the memorial, I got a text from my mom. "Family meeting, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Don't be late." I drove to her house. My brother's SUV was already in the driveway. Inside, they were sitting at the kitchen table. A printed document between them. A pen on top, no coffee, no small talk. My mother slid the paper toward me. "This is a disclaimer of interest," she said. "You're going to sign it?" I scanned the first line. It was a legal waiver. I'd be giving up my share of Grandma's trust. All of it. "Why would I do that?" I asked. My brother leaned forward. "Because I have kids, a mortgage, real responsibilities. You're single. You don't need it. And you were never really part of this family anyway," my mother added. Her voice was flat. Matter of fact, I stared at her. "Grandma left the trust to both of us," I said. "Equally." "She was confused at the end," my mother said. "She didn't understand what she was doing. She meant to leave it to your brother. Everyone knows that. If you fight this," my brother said, "you'll prove you never cared about this family. You'll be the villain, and we'll make sure everyone knows it." I felt my hands start to shake. Not from fear, from rage. "I need time to think," I said. My mother's eyes went cold. "You have until Friday. If you don't sign, we're getting lawyers. And this will get ugly." I walked out. Got in my car, drove home in silence. I had 72 hours, and I had a decision to make. Friday morning, the FedEx truck pulled up. Inside the envelope was a letter. Law firm letterhead. Thick paper. 3 pages. It was from a probate attorney representing my mother and brother. They were formally contesting the trust. The letter claimed my grandmother had early-stage dementia, that I had isolated her in her final months, that I'd exerted undue influence to manipulate the trust in my favor. None of it was true. But it was in writing. On legal letterhead. With a deadline. I had 10 days to respond, or they'd file a full petition in probate court. I Googled probate lawyers. Saw retainer fees starting at $5,000. Felt my stomach drop. Then my phone buzzed. A text from my cousin. "I can't believe you're doing this to him. Grandma would be so disappointed in you. My brother had already started the Whisper campaign. I sat on my apartment floor and stared at the letter. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should just walk away, sign the paper, disappear, go back to being invisible. It would be easier. But then I remembered something Grandma said the last time I saw her. Don't let them bully you. You earned this. I stood up, walked to my file cabinet, and pulled the folder labeled Grandma Estate. I thought I'd lost, but I hadn't, because I had receipts. Inside the folder was the original trust document, signed, notarized, dated 4 years earlier, long before Grandma got sick. I read the key line out loud. To be distributed in equal shares to my grandchildren, narrator and brother. Not primarily to, not if appropriate. Equal, 50-50. No ambiguity, no conditions. Crystal clear. There was something else in the folder. A sealed envelope, Grandma's handwriting on the front. To narrator. Open if anyone questions my wishes. I opened it. Inside was a letter. 2 pages, her handwriting. Dated 6 months before she passed. You earned your independence. Your brother never did. This is yours. Don't let them bully you. I was of sound mind. I meant every word. I took photos of everything, uploaded them to the cloud, emailed copies to myself. Then I started searching for a probate attorney who offered free consultations. I found one by Monday. Her name was Lauren. She reviewed everything in 20 minutes. This is airtight, she said. Your brother doesn't have a case, but he's betting you'll fold before it gets to court. I'm not folding, I said. Good, she said. Because we have options, and they just made a very expensive mistake. I walked out of that office with a plan, but before I could move, my family escalated, and it got so much worse. My brother launched a full-scale Whisper campaign. He called every aunt, uncle, and cousin we had. The story? I had manipulated Grandma in her final months, tricked her into changing the trust, isolated her from the family. I was heartless, greedy, a liar. None of it was true. But it didn't matter. My phone started blowing up. How could you do this? You should be ashamed. Grandma would be horrified. An aunt sent an email. I was no longer welcome at future family events. My mother called. Her voice was shaking. Please don't do this. You're tearing this family apart. I'm not tearing anything apart, I said. I'm just not signing away what Grandma wanted me to have. She didn't know what she wanted, my mother snapped. And if you loved her, you'd respect that. She hung up. 2 days later, my brother posted on Facebook. It's hard when someone you love chooses money over family. Praying for peace. The post got 83 likes, dozens of comments, all sympathetic. I didn't respond. Didn't defend myself. Didn't engage. But my brother's attorney filed another motion. A formal petition to contest the trust, requesting a full accounting of Grandma's finances for the last 5 years, alleging undue influence, claiming I'd isolated her. The hearing was set for 30 days out. My friend Rachel called me that night. Is it worth it? She asked. Can you just walk away? I thought about it. It's not about the money anymore, I said. It's about the lie. Then fight, she said. So I did, and I kept digging. I logged into an old email account I barely used, the one I'd set up in college, the one that still got random family forwards. I searched for my brother's name, and I found something. An email thread from 2 years ago, 8 months before Grandma passed. I'd been accidentally CC'd. I'd never opened it, just archived it and forgot. Now I read it. The subject line, Grandma's Estate, Plan. My brother's email to my mother, dated March 14th. We need to make sure narrator doesn't get an equal cut. I'll talk to her about changing the trust. My mother's reply same day. She won't do it. She's stubborn. We'll have to contest after. My brother again. Good, I need that money. The business is underwater. I sat there staring at the screen. This wasn't about Grandma's capacity. It wasn't about her confusion. It was premeditated. They'd planned to contest the trust 8 months before she died. While she was still healthy. Still sharp. It was never about what she wanted. It was about what they wanted. I downloaded the email thread, took screenshots, time-stamped, saved everything. Then I forwarded it to Lauren, my attorney. Her reply came in under 5 minutes. This changes everything. They just handed us the case. Now I had motive. Now I had proof. And now I had a plan. Lauren ran a basic asset search. Public records. Totally legal. What she found didn't surprise me. But it explained everything. My brother's business LLC, dissolved 6 months ago. His house, second mortgage filed 4 months ago. His credit report, obtained through discovery, $140,000 in unsecured debt. He'd been living beyond his means for years. Propped up by my mother, waiting for Grandma's money to bail him out. For him, this was survival. But my mother's motive was different. She couldn't accept that Grandma had valued me equally. The invisible kid, the one who left, the one who didn't play the game. It threatened her narrative, her control, her image as the family matriarch. For her, the money was secondary. It was about power, about keeping me in my place. Lauren leaned back in her chair. Your brother's underwater. Your mother's protecting her legacy. You're collateral damage. She slid a file across the desk. Here's what we do. I read the plan. It was clean, surgical, no drama. Just documents. Let the paper do the talking, Lauren said. I looked up at her. I'm not interested in revenge, I said. I just want what's mine. Then we'll get it, she said. I walked out of that meeting with absolute clarity. I wasn't going to let them drown me to save themselves. And I knew exactly what to do. Lauren filed our response the next morning. Not just a response, a counter motion. We asked the court to enforce the trust as written. Immediate preliminary injunction to freeze all distributions until the hearing. And we attached exhibits. Exhibit A, the original trust. Signed, notarized, unambiguous. Exhibit B, Grandma's personal letter affirming her intent and soundness of mind. Exhibit C, the email thread. My brother and mother planning the contest 8 months before Grandma died. Exhibit D, an affidavit from the estate attorney who drafted the trust, confirming Grandma's full competence, confirming the trust was never amended. Exhibit E, a forensic accountant's preliminary report. Grandma's financials for 5 years. No unusual transactions. No large gifts to me. Zero evidence of undue influence. My brother's legal team was blindsided. Their entire case was built on emotion, on assumptions, on the hope I'd fold. Ours was built on documents. The judge granted the preliminary injunction within 48 hours. No money would move until the hearing. I didn't call my mother, didn't text my brother, didn't post on social media. I just let the filing do the work. Lauren sent me a message that night. They're going to try to settle. Don't. I wasn't planning to. 2 weeks later, we walked into court. And everything came out. The probate hearing was in a small courtroom. Windowless, fluorescent lights. My brother sat with his attorney on one side, my mother beside him, both stone-faced. I sat with Lauren on the other. The judge called the case. My brother's attorney stood first. He made his argument. Emotional. Vague. Grandma's real wishes. Family harmony. My brother's need. But he had no documents. No witnesses. No evidence. Just feelings. Then Lauren stood. She didn't raise her voice. Didn't get theatrical. She just walked the judge through the exhibits. Exhibit A, the trust. On screen. Highlighted. Your Honor, the trust is unambiguous. Equal distribution to both grandchildren. Signed and notarized 4 years prior to the decedent's passing. Exhibit B, Grandma's letter. A personal directive from the decedent, affirming her soundness of mind and intent. Exhibit C, the email thread. Correspondence between the contestors, dated 8 months before the decedent's death, in which they discuss contesting the trust regardless of her wishes. Quote, "We need to make sure, narrator, doesn't get an equal cut." The judge's eyes narrowed. Lauren continued. Exhibit D, the estate attorney's affidavit. Sworn statement confirming the decedent's full legal capacity at the time of execution. The trust was never amended. Exhibit E, the forensic report. 5 years of financial records. No suspicious transactions. No evidence of undue influence. In fact, flight records show my client visited the decedent more frequently than the contestors during her final illness. My brother's attorney tried to interrupt. The judge held up a hand. Do you have any documentary evidence? The judge asked my brother directly. That your grandmother intended anything other than equal distribution? My brother stammered. No, Your Honor, but... Then this petition is without merit, the judge said. She looked at my brother's attorney. Counsel, do you wish to withdraw? He glanced at my brother, then nodded. Yes, Your Honor. The judge made her ruling from the bench. Petition to contest is dismissed with prejudice. The trust will be executed as written. Equal distribution to both grandchildren. Motion to enforce is granted. The gavel came down. It was over. I didn't smile, didn't gloat. I just breathed. My brother wouldn't look at me. My mother stared straight ahead. I walked out of that courthouse with my inheritance intact. But that wasn't the real win. The trust was distributed 60 days later. I received my half. $650,000. My brother received the same. My mother wasn't a beneficiary. She got nothing, and she had no legal standing to contest. I didn't gloat, didn't send a message, didn't post about it. I just accepted the wire transfer and moved on. My brother's debt didn't magically disappear. Most of his inheritance went straight to creditors. The house is still mortgaged. The business is still gone. He made his choices long before Grandma passed. My mother tried to call once. I didn't answer. My brother sent a 2-line email. I hope you're happy. I deleted it. Didn't reply. The extended family eventually heard the outcome through the grapevine. A few cousins reached out to apologize quietly. I didn't engage. No long explanations. No reconciliation tours. Just boundaries. I used part of the inheritance to pay off my student loans, put a down payment on a small house in a city I love, and I established a $50,000 scholarship fund in Grandma's name at the local community college for non-traditional students who've had to fight for their education. The rest is invested, growing quietly. I'm in therapy now, processing the grief, not just for Grandma, but for the family I never really had. I don't speak to my mother. I don't speak to my brother. No contact, no drama. No apologies expected or offered. Just distance. The cropped photo? I had it restored. Digitally. Professionally. It sits on my mantle now. Whole again. But only in my home. 'Cause here's what I learned. You can't crop someone out of what's rightfully theirs. Not in a photo. And not in a will. And sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is stop fighting for a seat at a table that was never set for you. I didn't win because I was ruthless. I won because I had receipts. Because I stayed calm. And because I refused to disappear. Grandma knew exactly what she was doing. And so did I. Now I want to hear from you. Would you have fought? Or would you have walked away? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story hit home, subscribe. There's more where this came from. Thanks for listening. This has been a fictionalized dramatization for entertainment purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. Always consult a qualified professional for your specific situation.